all might. You miss me, baby? You're real. Join me, brethren, as we relinquish ourselves of the bonds of servitude and facial hair. And the first step is to look the part. But this might be a little much. Oh, it's a good touch, though. But really, guys, I got a lot of awesome feedback and comments and PMs from my last video about how to read manga in Japanese. I'll link in the description. And because of that, I wanted to make another video about the second most asked question I ever got, which was just generally, how did you learn Japanese? And it's not how to learn it quickly. It's mostly free, but it's not going to be a how to do it for free video. Comb your hair and put down the Game Boy because I'm about to win you your mother's approval. Now, the first one's always the hardest, but it's also the simplest. Just start. There's going to be a million reasons to put it off. Oh, I got to find the right way. I have to get the right book. I have to date someone that's Japanese, which probably won't happen. We're all greasy, weeby weirdos. They're not going to come to us. You have to go to them. But there's an old proverb I always use, and I use it in the comments all the time, or whenever my friends ask me how I learned, and that's a year from now, you're going to wish you started today. So make today your day. Let's start Japanese. Let's not be a stereotype. Woo! Not a stereotype. And the second one's also kind of hard, but it's not nearly as hard. That's just get into a system. And I know what the internet's going to say, oh, you got to try mine, you got to try this one, you got to do this one worked for this person. Well, this one worked for this person. There's no one method for everybody. Just start. And then if it's not working for you to be in a book, then go to a self-study thing. If self-study's not working for you, go to a classroom. Go to college. Take it in your high school. If being in America isn't working, go to Japan. And that's why I don't necessarily agree with people that are like, you can't learn Japanese from anime or manga, or you have to be in Japan to learn in like immersion. I was learning for a year before I went to Japan. I got by. So just start and then pick something. But if you're like, Chad, oh, hold on. Oh, Chad-sama, where should I start? Well, I can't really tell you where for you, but I can tell you where for me, and that was JapanesePod101.com. It started off free, and it's considered the most expansive Japanese audio library on the internet, but they also do lessons, and they have amazing PDFs, and they have smart flashcards to help you cycle through them more efficiently. It's almost like Anki. I used that for about a year, and before I went to Japan, starting at Absolute Beginner Season 1, Episode 1, I got to Newbie Season 3, which I think is 5 seasons in, 5 25-episode seasons in. And I could hang. You know, I had friends I made there, and you know, going in and out of Japanglish, you usually can get by. Basically, every single lesson's really simple. Whenever you listen to the audio, there's always a dialogue between two native speakers. And the first dialogue goes through just normal speed, normal conversation. The second one slows down the entire conversation. The third one goes back to normal speed, but it has English with it right after each sentence with what that sentence meant in English. And then the final one is normal speed. After you do that 4 times through, and it's all on one audio track, that's when a native English speaker that knows Japanese and a native Japanese speaker that knows English goes in and just teaches you the single piece of grammar for the lesson. I think like 6 to 10 vocab words. That's a good start. That's where I started, and I still continue to use Japanese Pod, albeit more lightly now that I'm in some more advanced levels. Not that they don't have advanced levels, it's just when I went to Japan, I got a whole bunch of stuff from the school I was at, and so I've been kind of using those. And likewise, if you're a book learner, which is also something that I used when I was in Japan, the Genki books. If you're a book learner, this is the industry standard. This and like Mina no Nihongo or whatever. And even better, Japanese Pod is free. By the way, this isn't a sponsored video by them or by anything that I'm mentioning. These are just what I used. But if you're from any of these things and you want to give me money, Papa needs some dollar bills, yo. Ooh, that's a 10. Well, now that we got that covered, let's cover 4 basic principles of language. There are 4 sections of language, I guess typically. Obviously, you know, there's like sign language, but usually there's 4 rough areas. Listening, speaking, writing, reading. Well, all tied up in one cute little bow. Just, so next, let's get you started on the road to reading. But reading can be fun, and that's what you have to do with a language. You have to make it fun. Put on Japanese subtitles on animes. Read Japanese manga. I don't know. Read a newspaper? Man, you're weird if you like reading the newspaper. So I already described most of how to do reading in a video down below, so I'm going to kind of skip over a lot of that, except for one, and that's kanji. Now, in there, I taught you how to kind of get around kanji, But what I want to teach you is how I learned kanji, because kanji can be this big, crazy hands. What am I doing with my hands? This big, crazy thing, because there's multiple ways to say different kanji. They have multiple meanings sometimes. But what I did and what I'll do for you is, at least to start, there's a PDF free online. I'll link it in my description. It's called Remembering the Kanji. This should be your Bible. This is your kanji Bible. But instead of teaching you what it means, the various definitions of writing it, how to write it, all that stuff, what it teaches you is what you need to know in the 21st century, which is how to read. How to read it and how to remember what the kanji means. What I did was I just made sure whenever I would read through it, and it would just be in order, I would do basically 10 kanjis at a time. And I'd read how he wrote it, which always gives you a little cute story to engage your imagination center as a part of your brain. I need freaking glasses. Do I have any glasses so I can do my nerd voice? I couldn't find any glasses. But I'll just talk like this just in case. So it engages your imaginary senses, so that way your brain goes, oh God. Never mind, I gotta stop that. It engages the imagination center of your brain, so that way you can just remember it, how kids remember story tales, or how, if you can think of a children's book that you read, like Green Eggs and Ham, how you can still, even now, remember the imagery, the pictures, and how some of even the lines go. That's how this will make you remember kanji. And so, whenever I got done reading the description, I would simply write it on the front. I'd write what it meant in English on the left. Hopefully you can see that. And then I just write the number for the frame that it was in on the right. So if I constantly maybe forget the meaning of this, I can go back and reread it. And I'd have to say, it's relatively successful. The flashcards are optional. It helps me a lot. But the price for this is free for the first 300. The PDF I'm going to link down below. If you want to buy the book, support the author, by the way. He does a great job. Now that you can read your hiragana and katakana from the video I linked down below, your kanji, and you're not cheating like the video I posted down below, you also know grammar, and you're starting to work on your vocab. Let's work on using that vocab and grammar by getting you a pen pal. Type it into www.weaboozemakelove. No, don't. Seriously, don't. Lemon Party's safe, though. I go to conversationexchange.com. Basically, it's a site where people from their native countries who want to learn each other's languages go on there and post almost like Craigslist ads, wanting to teach. For me, teaching English to a Japanese person, and for a Japanese person wanting to teach Japanese to an English person. And we just trade languages. And you can choose by gender, if guys creep you out, and I would say if girls creep you out, but let's be honest, guys, it's us. You can choose by region, so if you're going to like a specific place, like I was going to Fukuoka, so you can go on there and make that a priority, so that way when you go to Kyushu or Fukuoka or Tokyo, wherever the frick you lame folks go, you can meet them there, and you'll automatically have a friend when you get there who also knows about as much English as you probably know of Japanese. And the way that I did it is some people, we had whole days where we did English, whole days where we did Japanese. We had mornings and nights where we did English and Japanese. Sometimes their English was worse than mine. A lot of the time it was even better than mine, which made me self-conscious about my Japanese. And the key is just to use it, honestly. Just, language is a tool. You can read a diagram about a hammer all day, but if you want to get proficient and quick at using it, you just have to use it. And you're going to bang your thumb a couple times. You're going to put a hole in the wall. And you know what's going to happen? You laugh it off. You make a joke about, oh, languages are so silly. And you just keep going. Because they're still learning the language too. There's no need to be embarrassed. And if you're doing all three of those things, I guarantee you after a year, you're going to be so much farther than even you thought you were going to be. And people might be asking you to make a video on how you're learning a language. And then you can go to Japan and creep people out. Quickly! This about does it for me, guys. Thank you for watching my video all the way through. Remember, all the links are in the description, as well as if you go to my page, I'm going to have a page. Here's a box. Okay, it's going to be right here where Scott stopped from Creed's Faces, and you're going to see sponsored channels. Those are channels that are both helpful to me or that I enjoy. 90% of them are Japanese. If you guys want to get into Japanese YouTubers, which have also helped me a buttload, be it people that are English speaking that live there or Japanese people that are just making YouTube videos, a lot of those are on that as well. If you want recommendations from me from, I don't know, good animes or mangas to learn from, or how to not crash your bike in Japan and break your nose, all of these things you can ask me in the comments and I will reply. That's short of my shtick. So thank you guys. I'm excited to see you next Wednesday. Be sure to like and subscribe down below, and I promise I won't do this voice anymore. One piece of unfinished business. I don't need you anymore. I have friends on the internet. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno, burn, baby, burn. Wow, this isn't burning very fast. Oh God. Uh-oh. Bye, everyone.